Hey everyone, my name is Jake Sheldon. I am with Dan Leibrandt. He is owner of Pest Control SEO, a successful pest control SEO marketing agency. Thank you for showing up here today, Danny. Appreciate you.
Of course.
We are going to talk about keywords and the relevancy to pest control. So I have a few questions here for you, Danny, I want to cover. So one of the first questions that we get is, what are the top keywords customers use when they're searching for pest control?
Yeah, that's a great one. So there's a lot of different things I could say here. I'll say very generally that, first off, it does depend on the area, because people will typically look up geographically relevant keywords. That might be, again, I've mentioned like Pest Control Chicago or Pest Control Glenview or Pest Control Evanston. So I guess that might be the first thing that I say there, is that a really common one is pest control plus city name. So whatever city you're in, and by the way, that's actually exact. So just for people that don't understand exactly how keywords work, every little slight nuance within a phrase is a different keyword. So Pest Control Chicago is a different keyword than Chicago Pest Control. It's a different keyword than, Chicago Exterminators, different than, Pest Control Chicago, except there's no space between the pest and control. Like that's how nuanced they get, because you don't have to account for people misspelling, but just like understand that happens, and those get identified as each individual keyword. So that's kind of the main one. And what I was saying is that is essentially like the exact search phrase. We see, Pest Control Chicago always more times than a Chicago Pest Control. We see a Pest Control Houston more times than a Houston Pest Control always. So, that differentiation doesn't make too much of a difference. But, for Chicago Pest Control, I actually mentioned this in my book, that Pest Control Chicago has about 1,000 searches a month, and that was Pest Control Chicago.
How many searches did you say per month?
About 1,000. Pest Control Chicago has about 1,000 searches a month, and then Chicago Pest Control has about 400 searches a month. So that is a big difference. So ideally, let's optimize for that main keyword, assuming that there isn't too much keyword difficulty, which you can see in a tool like SEMrush. It'll show you the keyword difficulty and it'll give you a percentage. So between these different keywords, it was basically the same. Pest Control Chicago was about 35%, maybe Chicago Pest Control was 37%. So ideally, we want to optimize for that top keyword. So that's a really easy one. And like I was saying in a previous video we made, that we're optimizing for, making pages for those keywords across the cities that we serve. Then there's some more general ones that we can very clearly see. So that might be pest control near me. That'll be just pest control, exterminator near me. Pest exterminators near me is actually pretty common, believe it or not. Then maybe some other services a little bit near me. So there's, maybe wildlife removal near me, termite control near me, some for pest control services. But really the top two by far are pest control near me and pest control. Those are just the most basic ones everyone's searching, at least as of now, because people might have more advanced searches in the future with all the AI stuff and searching on ChatGPT and now Google's AI mode. So that might change in the future. But overall, those are kind of the general keywords we can expect customers to search when they are in a transactional state.
Yep. And how do you identify those high intent keywords?
Yeah, so there's a difference, right? Because there's a funnel of keywords. There's top of funnel keywords, there's middle of funnel keywords, there's bottom of funnel keywords. So a lot of people, not necessarily will make the mistake of, but a lot of companies will spend all of their time focusing on top of funnel keywords and just like, ranking on, raccoon removal, except there's no geo-targeting, and geo-targeting meaning you're involving the city in some way. Like, we just want to rank on how to get rid of spiders. And like, that's okay. We can still do that. But like I've said before, and like I've said many times, let's first focus on the bottom of funnel keywords, which would be the ones of Pest Control Chicago, Pest Control Near Me. Those are all the people that are actually trying to convert. They want to, find a company. And when we're talking about SEO, like SEO is a lead generation strategy at the end of the day. A lot of people are like, oh, I got my traffic up. I got my backlinks up. I got like this and that, all these crazy statistics. But it's like, well, did we get more leads from SEO or not? And that comes from setting up these money pages and targeting these bottom of funnel keywords. So those ones that I was just mentioning, those are the bottom of funnel ones. But obviously we can have higher, top of funnel ones that'll generate traffic, and they will generate, some brand recognition. But typically, I recommend always somewhat geo-modifying your content, always having some kind of local perspective. Even like some of the pest pages we set up, instead of setting up a page for ants, we'll set up a page for ants in Arizona. So at least, we don't serve all of Arizona, maybe we serve half of Arizona, but still at least we rank on that term actually because it's easier than ants, and because people across Arizona, maybe it's a 1 in 2, 1 in 4 chance that they actually can use our services, but that's, they're still more middle of funnel, but now they know our company.
Hey guys, real quick, if you guys are really looking to grow your pest control company, check out what we do at pestcontrolmillionaires.com.
Love that. Now, what are some of the tools that you're actually using to identify those keywords that are going to be the best for you?
Yeah, so I mentioned my favorite SEO tool is SEMrush. SEMrush is like the basically all-in-one. I think they have over 55 tools within the platform. Now, it is fairly expensive. I think it's $140 a month right now. So that might be through an agency, or that might be through some kind of partner. Like obviously I set up all the SEMrush campaigns for my clients. They don't set that up. But again, you might want some kind of client or, some kind of agency to set that up, some kind of partner. But SEMrush is a really great overall SEO tool. It basically covers everything. You can do keyword research. You can see your domain authority. You can see how much traffic you're getting. And then another great part of that is that you can also connect that to your Google Search Console and your Google Analytics. So that all of that, that kind of speculative third-party data is now also combined with the Google data. But yeah, SEMrush is a great one for keywords. And also just going a little bit further on the keywords, you're talking about understanding the intent. Part of that, it is kind of intuitive just to know like, hey, if someone searches Pest Control Chicago, they're probably looking to convert. But you can also see this through SEMrush. So they show different levels of intent whenever you're searching for keywords. And you can do some searches for free. I think it gives you 10 searches a day for free, and it will kind of be limited, but that's something. And you can see it will give, you'll see the intent category, and it will show a T for transactional, or an I for informational, or these other categories that are provided. So we want to optimize for the T transactional ones first, because those are the ones we're going to make money on.
Love that. Now, how many other like free tools? I hear this a lot with like AI. Is there any new AI tools that are looking up those keywords? Is there a bunch of free ones? SEMrush, obviously, we both use it. It is a little more expensive maybe to someone just getting started. How many free tools are there, and is there any AI that can do any of this stuff?
Yeah, so you should definitely have Google Analytics and Google Search Console set up. Those are actual Google tools and actual Google data that it's either connected to your site or to your domain, which it's, again, giving you the real data with what's going on. And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't say that's enough, but it's a really good starting point. And if you have a good amount of data, and assuming those are already set up, and maybe you've had them set up for a few months or even a few years, then you can go into those platforms and see, and it'll show you, like in your Google Search Console, of how many impressions are you getting for the search. Like, okay, last month we got 10,000 impressions. This month we got 50,000 impressions, which isn't too crazy, because that just means your search showed up on the page. No one actually clicked. But okay, last month we got 50 clicks, and this month we got 100 clicks. It's like, oh wow, I can see that. And Google Search Console will show you all of the different keywords that you got traffic for. So everyone's like talking about, again, I mentioned SEMrush because that's my favorite, and there's these different SEO tools, but you can use Google Analytics and Google Search Console and get a good amount out of those. And then besides that, another one I like to mention, this is almost like cliche or kind of stupid, but literally just use Google Search. Like, just search on the platform. Ideally, like, you log out of your Google account and you do it from like a private browser, but search some of your top keywords and see what shows up. Like, instead of going through all the tools like I do, because I already look at these other things, like actually just do a search for your top keywords and see what shows up. Is it your top competitor? Is it Yelp? Is it whoever? Is it mostly Google ads? Is it mostly local service ads? Like I encourage every pest control owner to do this. Really good. See what is showing up on your top searches. Is it, one of your biggest competitors? You're like, oh wow, this website page is ranking. I could do way better than that. Yep. Versus, wow, okay, it's Orkin. They're like totally crushing it. This page is like to the max. They have tons of links to it. Like it's over. We probably can't rank on this term. So I would say those are kind of my top 3 free tools.
Yep, love that. And one last question for you is, how do you group and prioritize those keywords effectively then?
Yeah, definitely. So we can track those within a SEMrush project, and we can actually just really bulk those all together. So we don't need to go too crazy with grouping. Actually, something relating to that is I will set up a master spreadsheet for all of my clients, and we will have essentially columns and categories for, okay, here are all of the top keywords for Chicago. Here are all the top keywords for Northbrook. Here are all the top keywords for Glenview. And we can see those all laid out very clearly. It's like, wow, okay, there are tons of different pest control searches in Chicago. And then seeing, so, I was saying that we should have one concept per page. If it's Pest Control Chicago and Chicago Exterminators and all these different terms are basically the same, we shouldn't make different pages for those, but instead on that one page, optimize for all of those different keywords on that one page, which means, putting them in different headings and having those keywords just throughout the page so that we can rank on them. So that's essentially how I do the grouping. And like I already mentioned with the prioritization, we should always start with the bottom of funnel, not the top of funnel. Let's always get those easy ones ranking. And really something also that you should focus on is when you look at, again, a tool like SEMrush and you see maybe, one of those bottom of funnel money pages is ranking like number 3. That's what you need to be focusing on. It's really hard to create a page from scratch. Google has to crawl it. It has to index it. It then ranks it. Then you're ranking, like 40. And then you continue to maybe climb up the ranks, then you're 30, and then you're 20. It's like when you start, if you already have a page ranking 3 or 5 or 4, definitely anything top 10, definitely focus on those first, because those are gonna be much easier to rank. And the clicks drastically drop from 1 to 10. So 1's gonna get maybe 30% of the clicks, and then it will drop about about half each time. So it'll be like 30%, then 15%, then 7%. And now if you're ranking number 5, you're getting like, a few percent of clicks. So those top results are really important. So let's focus on the keywords that are already doing pretty well. We just need a little bit of a boost there.
That's good. Now we covered quite a bit. How would you summarize the information you just covered in just a few short sentences for the audience watching?
Yeah. So you need to focus on bottom of funnel keywords. That's where you're actually going to make your money with SEO. And specifically look at the ones that are already doing well. And you can do that through free tools like Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and a free Google search. Or if you are looking to be more of an SEO pro, if you really want to take it to the next level, then use a tool like SEMrush, and you can either go through my course or just kind of figure it out on your own and master that there.
Love that. Well, thanks for sharing that info today, Danny, and appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I know that we really appreciate you guys taking the time with us here. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure to throw them in the comment section below. And if you found this valuable, make sure to like and subscribe and to share with your friends who maybe own a service business themselves. Again, our goal here is to provide as much value to you guys as possible. Also, if you guys are really looking to grow your business, make sure to check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. We'll have the link below in the bio, and we'll also have a free school group for you guys to check out. So, thanks for watching.